Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new video, and this is going to be another render tutorial. I made one, I think back in October or December, but I mean, it's been a while and there's obviously been some huge updates, like obviously Roblox removed like classic faces and everything's dynamic now, and there has been problems where people have reached out to me being like, oh, like the faces aren't working correctly and how do I fix that? And I have a solution for this. I figured this out totally on accident because I don't know, one random day I went onto Roblox Studio and went over to my plugins to make a GFX, and there was this, and I didn't know how I got it, but I did. And I guess I used it once and then kind of let it be there for a few months because I didn't know how to get rid of it. And the reason I don't like using it is because whenever you load someone's avatar in R6, which is what you need for a GFX, it loads the accessories wrong. Like, so you have to go and manually fix that, and I didn't touch it because I mean, I didn't really like that. But whenever you load a new avatar here after the dynamic face update, all the accessories spawn right, but your face doesn't load. So how I learned to fix that is you go over to the head over here, you delete that, and then you go over to this new plugin, which join my Discord server if you need to get these plugins. Just let me know like where you can find them in the Discord server, and obviously I'll tell you where I have them hidden in the server, which they're not really hidden, but if you can't find the plugins on my server, I'll tell you where it is. But this is what I use for accessories, and for the head I just go over here, I spawn the avatar that's needed in R6, okay, and then just go over here, set the chords over here, and then you just delete everything, like all the accessories and all that, right? So just leave the head, right? So okay, so just leave the head, okay? That's basically all you really need to do to fix that. But if you're new and you don't know how to make a render, basically that's what you need to for a face. If you have headless, like, you can obviously just go over to Blender, or if you already have like if your face is working with this, like, you can just go over to Blender. But if it's not, this second plugin really works. And after that, you're going to put it in the same model, and you're gonna right click, go to save/export, and export as an OBJ, okay? But before you guys do that, just make sure everything is in R6, because I get people asking me like, oh, my textures aren't working or something like that, and usually it's because they didn't spawn in R6 or because they did the texturing wrong in Blender. So make sure you export as an OBJ in R6, not 15, okay? So just save it wherever you want on your computer. Then you're going to go over to Blender, which I think I have it linked in the description, but if you can't find it there, it's probably in my Discord server, so please join my Discord server for any GFX help. But go over to Blender or Lightroom and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, now we're in Blender, and what I gotta say is that my Blender might look a little different to your Blender whenever you open it, because I did make a few changes, but it's not not bad. I just moved the camera. That's basically all I did, I think. But for lighting, because I usually forget this, but for lighting, you go over to here to lights, and you go over here, which usually these two are different. It's usually like a bright orange on this one or something, right? And then this one is like a neon blue. Okay, so what I just did because whenever you render it, I know some people use gloss, and I can see whenever you render it the different colors, right? Whenever you render it with these colors, so to get rid of all the colors in your lighting, you just click this, and then what I like to do is just click the eyedropper and just copy the color right here, okay? And I do the same for the warm, because obviously whenever you're editing, you could definitely change the color in like camera raw or something. So you can obviously change the lighting and shading and editing, but it's just easy to have like a easy color render, so you can easily edit it and you don't have to edit out any other colors while you're editing it, you know? So just have a basic render, and you can obviously recolor it in Photopea or whatever you use, you know? But here we are, and to move around, you go to your mouse. Okay, I don't know how to describe this, but there's like a little scrolly thingy in the middle of your mouse. I don't know what it's called, okay, but it's in the middle of your mouse. There's your two clicky things, and in between it there's like this scrolly thingy, and you just hold it down and then you move, okay? And then to move like this, you press the middle scrolly thingy on your mouse and then shift. So that's how you move like that, and pretty straightforward. And to zoom in, you just go to the scrolly thing. You don't press it down, you just scroll it, okay? Pretty self-explanatory, but yeah. But now we're gonna get into the actual rendering process on how to rig everything and then render it and pose it and all that. So you go up here to the top left and you click File. You go down to Import, not Export, Import, okay? And there's wavefront.obj, and since you saved an obj file in Roblox Studio, you're gonna click that, okay? And you're gonna go find your file, which there's two different files. There's a MTL and there's an OBJ. You're gonna click the OBJ, okay? And to obviously remove all the limbs, because we're gonna add a different rig, and also you have to group all your accessories. You go over here and click split by group, okay? Then you're gonna go over to this blue button down here that says import wavefront OBJ, and there you go, right? Self-explanatory, I think. And then what I do, because we're gonna add in a rig, we just delete all the limbs except the head, unless you're headless, of course, right? So click the accessories, and then you're gonna right click, okay? Right click, and you see how it's down here, right? That's how it's gonna move, and we want it to stay in one place. So you're gonna right click, set origin, and go over to geometry, or however you say it, I don't know. And you're just gonna click that, and now it stays in one place. It doesn't move around, right? But you're gonna do that for basically every item that you don't have to really group together. So like a skirt or like a necklace, because those are its own different parts of the rig, right? So for the head and all the accessories and all that, some people might just have one, or there's people that have more than one, right? So you're gonna click whatever head accessory you have, like hair, a hat, or something, you're gonna click it, and if it's just one, you just do the same, you do that, right? But since we have multiple, you're gonna, so pretend you're gonna click this, but you press shift, so shift and then click, okay? And you're gonna do the same for the rest. And then to group it all together in one, you're gonna press control and then, okay, obviously I forget how to do it whenever, okay. So you're gonna press control J and then right click, set origin to geometry, and there we go, right? There's nothing there. And that's how we group all the accessories together and all that. Now we're gonna get to the rig, because obviously we can't render with no body, right? So I think I have the rigs linked down in the description, but if they're not, they're in my Discord server, I think. Not totally sure on that, but please let me know. Join my Discord server if you're missing anything in the video. I could obviously get the resources for you, I think. But whenever you do import it, there's a video online about it. It's by 𝓢𝓸𝓬𝓲𝓪𝓵, I think. So shout out to him. But we're gonna go over to the side once you import the rigs, and you're gonna go over to starter rigs, and you're gonna click this, okay? And you're gonna click whatever rig you have. There's woman, there's a girl, there's a superhero, there's a boy, there's a man, there's, well, there's a Valkyrie, and there's a 2.0. But for this one, we're gonna do this one, okay? And this is just like what I do. I delete the head because we already have a head, okay? But this is what I do to like just make everything fit better. Is I press S, which is scale, and then I press X to fix the width of the rig, and then I just size it down a little bit so it fits better in the camera. And I'm gonna fix the skirt because it's on wrong, obviously, like in all directions it's on wrong. So I'm gonna press S and then X, and then it's obviously on wrong horizontally, or whatever this is, it's on the y-axis. So we're gonna press S and then Y, okay? And that's how I fix the skirt, okay? And obviously you can do the same for a few other things, but that's just what I'm doing in this situation. Now we're gonna import our textures onto the rig, which I get people asking me, at least in my friend server. I saw someone asking for help because the rigs weren't importing correctly, and this is how I fix that. Because there are right and wrong ways to do it, but if you're not adding HD faces, you can just delete this whole section, okay? Just delete everything here, and now nothing is connected, right? And also, I would like to add that up here is where you can see all the solid colors, right? I'm probably gonna have to re-edit that into like the first section, because I don't know if that's on automatically, but to see your like shading or something, just click that, and then this one is the render one, how it's gonna look rendered, and then this one is like a wireframe. So this is what I usually use. Sometimes I go into the render one, but yeah. But since there's no textures on our rig, what we're gonna do, this says main texture, so this is where you're gonna import your textures no matter what. So you're gonna click that little X and find your textures, which obviously there might be multiple, but you're just gonna find whatever texture, and I just imported mine, but obviously you can't see it yet. That's because you need to since nothing is connected here other than the principled BSDF and the material output, but the main texture is over here. So you have to go with the color, this little yellow thing right here, and you're gonna connect it over to base color, which I think I imported my textures wrong. I think I used the wrong one. So there we go. Yeah. And that's how you import the rig texture onto the rig. So just make sure you choose the right texture, since there's obviously different ones. But once I get the right texture and connect everything correctly, it's on there. But now what we're gonna do is pose the render. And to move the camera, I have a little shortcut on mine, but if you don't have a shortcut on it, which by default I don't think you do, you go up here to view in the top left and you click it, go all the way down to navigation, which is kind of in the middle, and then you go down until you see walk navigation, which you can see my shortcut on there. I just right clicked and put like shortcut somewhere here, right? But that's how you fix it, and obviously you just move it around with WASD and with your mouse, and you just put it wherever you want. Okay, I'm gonna put mine right here, I think. And there's obviously different ways to change the camera around. Like if you click the border here and it becomes all orange, you can press R to rotate it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Obviously just like a slight little tilt. And now once you get your camera in position, you can click the head and obviously do something like that. And it's not really on the neck, right? So you just move it around with this. That's rotate, and then this is move. So you just move it around with the little arrows. And I might have to back my camera up a little bit, but once you get everything into position, it should look fine, I guess. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click the rig, and there's little object mode up here, and then I go up to pose mode. Okay, and there's different ones you can click wherever you want, which if you want heart hands, I have a different tutorial for that. But obviously the same rigging process in this video. I don't know if it's the same rigging process in the video. I don't even know if I included the rigging process in my heart hands video. But if you want heart hands, the video is over there. It's on my channel. But what I'm gonna do here is just do a simple little pose. I think I'm gonna make a pose video for different pose ideas if you're having trouble with that. Soon might be my next video, I don't know. I'm moving soon, so I'm gonna try and edit videos to post next month, but I don't know if I'll get to that since the month is almost over. But here we're just gonna adjust the arms a bit. Obviously it's just rotate. You just click whatever point you wanna, and then up here is where you move the actual arm. That's the elbow, that's the arm. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same over here, just like a simple little pose, right? And that looks fine. I'm gonna move the necklace because it's on wrong, and just do a little bit of that. I think it's on right. Yeah, it looks fine. And the skirt's on wrong too, so gotta fix that real quick, which I can't really see it well, but I think that's right. No, there we go. That looks right. Not really. Okay, I'm like a okay, I'm just gonna leave it there. But once you get all of your accessories and your head on right, and then do your little pose, once you feel happy with it, you can render it. But if you want gloss, I'm just gonna give you a quick little guide. you just adjust the roughness. So it's usually about like halfway, I like right there, but I should just like a nice little gloss, like a 0.2, and then for sheen I just do those settings right there, and that's how it's gonna render. I only did the rig, I didn't do any of the accessories, but that's how it's gonna render. It's like a nice little gloss, but if you want a little more you could probably get away with that, maybe even go all the way, but I feel like a nice little gloss is like a 0.2. But since I'm not gonna do any of that, I'm just gonna leave it matte. I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then I'm gonna render it. So here it is. It might be a little dark, like I said, but to fix that, I'm just gonna add like a nice little black background so it doesn't look that harsh, right? So we're gonna just do that, right? Actually, I'm gonna add like some blue in the background so you can like get the full picture here. Okay. Which I actually do have a brush tutorial on my page, so if you want these brushes, I think they're up on my page, and you might have to join my Discord server to get them, but yeah. Here, let's just do a nice little paint action here. Nothing fancy, since this is, I'm not gonna make a GFX out of this, since I already made a GFX with this avatar in my last video, but I'm just gonna center this because that's annoying me, right? That's not centered. So here is the render, right? To change the lighting of it, we're just gonna go up here to filter and then go to camera raw. Then here it is, right? To change the brightness of it, exposure obviously, or you can change the white here to go negative, right? And then change the black. Okay, so you don't want to go like this, that's too much. So just do the opposite of black here, and then do the opposite of white here, right? So I'm just gonna do that. That looks fine, right? And then since this is a blue one, we're gonna do the temperature here. But if it's like a purple GFX, you could change the tint, right? If it's a green GFX, you can change the tint. If it's a pink GFX, you can change the tint. If it's a green, I don't even know what color. Okay, yeah, that's a green. There's orange, there's a yellow somewhere in the mix, but since it's a blue GFX, like a teal, we're just gonna do that. I don't want it to be too harsh, so probably like right there. You can change the saturation if you want it to be dark. If you want it like not to show much color, you can do that, or if you want it to really pop, you can do that, right? Vibrance, you can change it, right? And then dehaze, it's honestly pretty cool. Depends what type of GFX you're using. I think I'm just gonna go like that, and then texture might be useful, I don't know. But that's usually what I do. And then just look at the before and after. Obviously camera raw can go far away, but if that's still not enough, you could go right click over here, go to blending options, and do like an inner glow here. So change the size and then change the color. And over here, since it's on screen, it's not going to show, but soft light, overlay maybe, hard light, I usually go for a nice little soft light. And then obviously you can do like a drop shadow in your GFX, but just for the color, inner glow might work. And obviously from the before and after, that's a huge difference. You could still probably do something small, like go over here to brush and have like 0 hardness on it, and then change the size, and then go over to paint over it like that, right? That could be a nice little overlay if you want, right? I don't know. I don't really use that technique that much, but whenever I do, it comes in handy. But honestly, just tweak it to make it to your appeal, because at the end of the day, it's your style, and that's basically how you make a render and how you color it in Photopea, you rig it, you like the whole process of a render. And I already have a background tutorial up on my page, but if you're still having background problems, feel free to join my group and ask me any question, or you might even find somebody else who's willing to give you some advice. But that's it for today's video, and all I really want to say is join my Discord server. I'm trying to grow over there, and I really appreciate if you join and interact and become part of the community. And thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe, and I think I'm posting again next week, trying to be active again, but I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you whenever I come back again in the future. Bye!